I don't want to I don't want to get teary-eyed. Oh my gosh, I don't want to cry. Hello my beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. Getting into today's story time video, I want us all to acknowledge that yes, this is a serious topic, and I'm gonna be sharing a very vulnerable experience with you guys, and I'm gonna be taking you guys from beginning, middle to end. And it's not easy to talk about a situation like this, but at the same time, I don't mind, because I would very much like to bring awareness to the situation. I just want people to know that you are human and you make mistakes, and there's no easy way to share such vulnerable stories and experiences. So I just wanted to make that clear. How I met this guy was through a phone chatting line thing. I don't know if you guys ever heard of those things. I also want people to understand really quick, in no way do I think that I'm a victim or that I'm gonna play a victim. I fully take responsibility for what was done and what was said. I can't take responsibility for what he did or for what he said. I can only do that for myself. I just want to make it clear that everything that I'm gonna say, I fully take responsibility for. I heard this guy's voice and I thought it was a cute voice, and so I left him a little voicemail thing. On this profile, you had to somehow confirm that you were 18 and over. And it wasn't like a legit way to confirm that you were 18 and over. It's just you had to like press in your birth date or something like that. So I had calculated in my head, okay, I was born this year, so that way I'm 18 right now in this moment. So I pretty much started off this profile and talking to this guy lying. And I said that I was older than I was. I don't remember what age. I want to say around the age of like 13 or something like that. And I was pretending to be about 18 or 19. And I left him the voicemail telling him that I was an adult. And he was 21 or 22 at the time. Initially, when we started talking, he was very nice, really sweet, all the typical stuff that a man would be when they're trying to get you to like them. I'm gonna try to cut a lot of super small details. I'm gonna try to just stick to the really big details. And of course, for everyone's protection and safety, I will not be mentioning the guy's name, just in case if anyone for any reason knows him or gets him in trouble, because this is not the purpose of the video. Mainly the purpose of the video is just to educate and to make sure that girls my age or younger or even older do not make the same mistakes, and hopefully this can help somebody in any way. So this guy knew that I was 18, 19 years old, and we were talking, getting to know each other. Once we decided to meet up, I felt like, okay, I don't want to lie to this guy anymore, because I don't want him to potentially get in trouble, because I am a minor and he is an adult. And even though I was consenting all this, it is still illegal for an adult to do anything of that nature with a child. So I come clean to him and I tell him, look, I'm not really 18 years old. I am 12, 13 years old, and I really think you should know before we try to take things further. I like you, but I don't want you to get in trouble. I thought that me telling him this was gonna for sure push him away, and he was not going to want to talk to me, and of course get scared that I'm a minor. Turns out that he wasn't actually willing to let me go. Once I told him, he was in disbelief at first. He was just like, why would you do this? Why would you lie to me? Why would you say that? Like, you know I can get in trouble for this. And I said, I know, I'm sorry. Don't worry, I'm not gonna talk to you anymore. I understand. I don't want you to get in trouble. I guess maybe that might have piqued his interest more, or maybe he really did just get super attached to me in some way that he just wasn't willing to give me up. After a while, he texted me telling me, I'm okay with you being underage, but are you okay with me being older? And at that time, I thought I knew everything. I thought I can handle the situation, I can handle myself, and I know how to handle an older man. And I was very, very, very wrong. And I did not realize the consequences that would come with this once I made this decision. This is where I really need you guys to hear me, because there's a lot of shame that I get from this particular part of the story, because I felt like I knew it was wrong. It didn't really hit me till later down the line, like years passing, what I had really let into my life. So I said I was cool with him being the age that he was. And from there on, we just kept talking. About a couple of days later, he said, hey, you know how you confessed something to me? I want to confess something to you, but I'm afraid that if I tell you, you're gonna leave me and you're gonna judge me, and you're probably never gonna want to talk to me again. He told me and confessed to me something, and this something is inexcusable. Before I tell you guys, I do really want to say this is probably gonna be a triggering story, so there could be triggers in this story. If in any way you're uncomfortable with the subject of rape or pedophiles or any sensitivity towards abuse or manipulation, I just want to give that warning. So he confessed to me that when he was about 15 years old, he lived with his grandma. And it was just him, his grandma, and his younger sister. At the time he was 15, his younger sister was about 9 years old. What he did was one night go into his little sister's room, and he tried to have sex with her and kind of forced himself on her. The grandma, I guess, somehow walked in on them and caught them, got upset with him, and called the police on him. That is how he got in trouble, and he was put on house arrest. He wasn't allowed to be near any schools, any high schools, middle schools. His excuse to me was he was 15, he wasn't raised very well, and he had no idea what to do with his hormones. And he realized that he made a bad mistake, and he realized that what he did was wrong. But he will forever pay the price for it for the rest of his life. In a way, like, maybe I felt sorry for him. Maybe I felt some sort of like, well, if you learned from your mistakes, maybe, you know, you're a good person. Not realizing that he did that to his 9-year-old sister, and here he is with me, a 13-year-old little girl, when he's 22 years old, that he obviously did not learn from his mistakes. Furthermore, knowing that information, I said, I'll forgive you and I'll look past that. And I continued to date him. So eventually we make a day to meet up. And because it was my first time meeting up with him, I had my sister and a friend and I asked them if they can be there with me to meet him. We met up, he came over. So I'm not, again, gonna give any description of even how he looked like or describe anything of him in particular. The only thing that I will say is that he was a white guy. We were all hanging out and everything was going cool, everything was going chill for a little bit. And we had ordered pizza or something, and my friend and my sister were trying to, you know, get to know him, ask him questions like, so why are you even interested in her? My sister was very much against the idea of me seeing him. She was being a very good sister. But when it's coming from your sister, you don't really heed the warning or the advice. I am so sorry for not listening to you, but you know how it is when you just don't want to listen to your family and you think you know it all. We had to end it because eventually my dad was gonna come home, so I just told him, I was like, you know, you gotta go now, so I'll text you later, I'll call you later, whatever. So that was the first time meeting him. The second time I met him, I thought I can handle this by myself, I got this. This time I don't need anybody here. This is where I feel like a little bit of the manipulation kind of started from him. So he tells me that when he goes to see me, keep in mind, I was a virgin at this age, at this time in my life. He told me that when he sees me, he wanted me to wear some very loose pants. These couple parts might get a little bit graphic, so just be aware. He told me that he wanted me to wear the loose pants so that way I can feel his boner. So that way when he tries to hump me, I could be able to feel it a lot better. And I was scared. I didn't really... I'm doing this for you guys. All I wanted was to feel good and to feel good about myself and to have someone make me feel good about myself. He told me that in my apartment complex, there is like a little on-site washer and dryer. He wanted to take me into that area, put me on top of the washing machine and just do what he said he wanted to do. I didn't want to. For me, I don't know the line of, I guess, what could feel like rape, or did I actually allow this to happen? I had struggled with those questions for the longest time. So we did what we did, and you know, I didn't feel exactly great, but I didn't say like, oh, this was bad. I was neutral about it. I didn't enjoy it and I didn't not enjoy it, if that makes any sense. This third time was where I was probably in such serious danger that I didn't even realize it until it had already happened. He told me that he wanted to bring a friend of his, and I'm thinking his friend is probably around the same age as he is, so it should be okay. So I said, yeah, that's fine, but you guys can only be here for about 15-20 minutes because my dad might be coming home anytime soon. So he comes over, and I noticed that the guy that he has with him is an older man, and he tells me that his friend was around 50 years old. But so they come in the weirdest way. The guy, my boyfriend at the time, told me, doesn't she have a beautiful voice? I told you she has a beautiful voice. And his friend, the old man, looks me up and down and says, yeah, she has a beautiful voice, just as beautiful as her face. And it made me super, super uncomfortable, to say the least. Just something in me, in my instincts, was telling me, tell them to leave, that they have to go. So I made up some excuse. I said, hey, my dad's gonna be here in like 2 minutes. You guys have got to leave, you gotta go. So then they both took off, and he texted me later telling me that his friend had got arrested for trying to hit on a little high schooler. I should also mention that after he told me all that stuff, that his friend got arrested, he got really mad at me for not giving him a kiss, because when they were leaving, he tried to give me a kiss, but I moved away and I didn't let him kiss me, and he ended up just kissing me like kind of like right here. So following up with that, he was starting to get very, very possessive and very, very manipulative. He was starting to tell me stuff like, what are you wearing? And I was just like, I'm just wearing my skirt and my shirt, and that's it. And he would tell me like, stop being a slut, stop being a effing slut, like go back into your house and change, like you're not allowed to wear that stuff anymore. I just started feeling really low at myself, and the vibration and the energy that I was getting from him was really, really starting to take a toll on me. I would tell him, oh, I'm gonna go out with a friend. He would tell me, well, who is this friend? And I would tell him, oh, it's just like my guy friend. And he would just get very, very mad. No, you're not going out with him. No, you're not allowed to see a boy and have him as your friend. And he would tell me, if you continue being friends with this guy, I am no longer gonna be with you, and you can no longer talk to me. So it's either you choose that or you're choosing me. And of course, at that moment, I was just like, damn, like, okay, well, I mean, I guess like I just won't talk to him. I won't talk to them. What officially ended this relationship between me and him was, there was a night where I had told my dad. My dad was kind of at a loss once I opened up to him, and I told him my secret, and all I did was tell him, please don't tell my older brother. My older brother and his opinion had meant a lot to me, and still does. It means everything to me. So I had confided in my dad, but my dad, of course, told my brother, and it's completely fine, and I'm completely okay with that having happened. My brother eventually comes up to me and tells me, why are you seeing this older person? This person is not right in their head. If they're dating a little kid and they're 20 something years old, 21, 22 years old, this guy is not mentally okay, and you need to see that he's not mentally okay, and this is not healthy for you. Me and my dad are gonna have a talk with this guy, and you're never gonna see him again. I started crying a little bit, and I wrote down his phone number and I gave it to my brother. Slowly but surely, I just became okay with not having any more contact with him. There was only one time where I ended up seeing him. He had worked at this fast food restaurant. I recognized his voice right away over the little microphone where you're ordering your food. And I heard the voice and I was just like, that's him. Secretly inside, I'm panicking because my brother is gonna get hurt, or the guy is gonna, try to hurt me or something. I was just thinking of the worst case scenarios. And sure enough, when we pulled up to the window, it was him. And I saw him for a split second, and I'm pretty sure he saw me, but luckily he didn't say anything. After we grabbed our food from the drive-thru, I just started crying my eyes out. I was bawling and I couldn't hold it in, and my brother was just like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong? Are you okay? Like, what's going on? I told him, I was just like, that was him. That was the guy. Like, that was the guy that you didn't want me to see anymore. And he was like, oh, okay. I get it now. I understand. He just tried to calm me down in the best way. Bro, I will love you so much, and I will love you forever. Ooh, I don't want to get teary-eyed. Oh my gosh, I don't want to cry. But you know how I feel about you. You're my ride or die. So I very much appreciate my brother keeping cool, not being like hot-headed on, let me go, F that guy up or anything like that. After that night of finally just releasing it and talking it out with my brother, I was like healed almost, and I felt more empowered than I ever did. Thank you guys so much for watching this story time, and thank you guys for just letting me talk this out and letting my, emotions out. I really appreciate everyone who has stuck it out this far. And if you have watched this video to the end, I absolutely adore you. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this video. Let me know if any of you out there ever had a situation like this, or let me know if this video helped you at all. We can come here. This is a safe zone. Share your experiences with me, and I would love to talk to anybody about this. I am always here for you guys, and you guys know where to reach me. So with that being said, I love you guys, and I will see you guys in my next story time video.